Hello, everyone out there. This is Paul Canfield with Copper Key Realty, coming back to you talking more about the buyer agency agreement in Wisconsin. And do a quick recap. In prior videos, we've talked about the three different ways that a real estate agent can work with a buyer. The new way, which is the pre-agency stage, this way just started in Wisconsin in the August of 2024. And in that role, the agent is not working for or on behalf of anybody. So they're not working for the buyer, they're not working for the seller, they're just out being a tour guide showing the property. But at any point when the buyer would like to start talking about negotiating items, perhaps talking about is the price the right price, or what's included, or when could we close, or what inspections or tests should we do, any of those things, then the buyer and the agent need to move forward to a different form, one of two options that the buyer has available to them. One option is an older option, which is where the buyer is a customer. In that role, on one hand, there's no agreement, and again, there's no contract between the buyer and the agent. But the buyer needs to be aware that the agent is working on behalf of the seller, even though the buyer is out with the agent and the agent's out with the buyer showing properties. The agent is not working on behalf of the buyer or working on behalf of the seller. Then the other option is if the buyer would like to have representation, if they would like to have an agent working on their behalf, then we have the buyer agency agreement, which we're looking at here on the screen. And that's the one right there. And in Wisconsin, this form, it's a 6-page form, as you can see right here. Last time we talked about the price range, and why we have a price range. Today we're going to talk a little bit about commissions. The compensation line on line 30 of the form, which is right there, that talks about commissions, and you're going to use X and Y for our purposes today. We can't use actual numbers because between agents and agencies, we can't have collusion in the industry. We have to all be separate. So for the purposes of this video, X and Y, we'll do today. And you can see there on line 33, which says that the buyer may ask for the seller to pay for compensation in the offer. And this is common, at least in western Wisconsin. Might be some of the commission, might be all of the commission. It's all variable per company. Also, you see on line 32 where it says non-MLS properties are a different commission. So it could be different for non-MLS properties. It could be different for vacant land, commercial, multifamily, all sorts of things. It could be different based on price ranges. So there's an unlimited amount of options available to agencies, buyers, and buyer agents. Now, that said, each real estate company, can have their own policy. So they could have a more firm amount that they charge. Nothing wrong with that, nothing illegal about that. That's perfectly fine. So some companies could have a set solid amount. Other companies could leave it variable and open. But in the end, all of this is negotiable between the buyer agent, and the buyer agent's firm. See you in the next video.